There we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the call. Welcome to Extraordinary Monday Nights. And we are very excited for tonight's call. We have Paul on the call. We also have Renee co-hosting, Carlos co-hosting, Doris co-hosting. We have David, we have Vaughn, we have Alex Barrington. Welcome, everybody. BB, Broderick's, Cameron, Chris from Calgary, Clinton, Crypto Queen, Paulette, welcome. DeFi Max, welcome to the call. Edwidge, Genevieve, Hope. We also have Jonathan, Kamal. Oh, a lot of people coming into the room. Lana, Mahbub, welcome to the call. Marlene, Maxine, Michael, Minerva, Ravi, Ron, Scotty, Vinci. We have Gunther, welcome. Bernard, Carol, Gino, Kamal again, and Yonette, and we have more people coming into the room. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's a very special day for all of us involved in the English-speaking community, and we have some exciting things. Well, first, let's welcome Paul to the room. Paul, hello.
Hi, Peter. Hi, everyone.
Thank you for joining us tonight, Paul. Just give us a summary of where things are right now, and I know we're all excited for June 1st. And we have something to share with everyone. And could you just let us know how things are going with the nodes and what's happening in the Chinese community, that people are already creating their communities through the node?
Yes. So a summary of what's happening. Well, there are a lot of things happening with FSTSwap for the past month. I would suggest always follow the Twitter for FSTSwap. At FSTSwap Rights, I think that's the account, and yeah, a lot of things has happened in the past month, but the biggest thing that's happening in the next few hours is the nodes, the reward for nodes, because for fun, we know we are mining fun every day, right? But there's 18% of the fund that's allocated to the nodes, and in May, none of it was ever mined. So the developers were gonna burn the last 30 days of fund that was supposed to be given to the nodes. They will burn all those funds in the next few hours, right? And then the node reward will start. So for the people who provided the first USDT liquidity pool, they will be mining in the farm, and they can use the FRT token. Just by providing the first USDT liquidity pool, they will receive FRT token, and they can use the FRT token to vote for the nodes, and they will get a reward. So meaning by providing the first USDT pool, they will be mining fund in both ways, in farms and in nodes. So this system, this design, has never been seen before, because of this kind of compensation plan. It's also allowing people to provide liquidity, as well as for the nodes, they can adjust how much for how should I explain it? I think the better way is if you can ask me the questions, and I'll answer the questions, right?
Okay.
So no, this way it will be more logical, for people who are listening. Because there's too many things.
Hey, Peter, if you don't mind.
Come on in, David.
I'm going to jump in. Hey, so why don't we do this? I'm going to share my screen real quick, and let's look at the node election page on the help desk. And you mentioned something that I think I'd like us to start with today, and I want you to emphasize the importance of being safe. Obviously, in crypto, there's all of these different ways. If you've been in it any length of time, you learn sometimes the hard way the importance of safety, of keeping your assets under your control. And there's a warning down here at the bottom, and I want us to spend a little bit of time talking about that. And you just touched on it a little bit. Can you go a little deeper into when somebody uses their FRT token, why they need to really pay attention to that process?
Okay, so FRT token, it is only gonna be used for voting of the nodes, right? And we will receive FRT token when we provided the FIS USDT liquidity pool. It will be automatically given to us, right? And so there are people, for example, there are people that didn't know, right? So, and I don't know how they have this idea, but they went on and found like someone created a liquidity pool for the FRT token. And it seems that the FRT token is pretty profitable. So they sold their FRT token. And when they do that, they will find that they will never able to remove their FIS USDT pool anymore, because it requires the same amount of the FRT token to remove their liquidity pool, right? So it's very important that we have to tell the people in the future who are coming in that don't ever transfer, sell, buy any FRT tokens. The FRT tokens is only for voting for the nodes. That's all its functions.
Awesome. Yep. Thank you, Peter. I'm going to kick it back to you.
Okay. So that being, okay, so first let's get Frank in. Frank, you have a question? Come on in.
Hey, thank you, Paul, for the explanation. I'm all about the function of everything and the safety of portfolio. So there's another function I need to be clear on an FRT token. Yes, okay. Even one of my clients swapped out. I was able to get the liquidity pool back by swapping the FRT back. Yes. They had power to move it. Now, you said it correctly. If you don't have 100, you can't remove your liquidity pool. Now, with this question in hand, once we vote for the nodes, I think that same person had a problem. Once your FRT is taken under 100 and used for voting, it locks your pool. You still can't remove it, right? You must get that all back to maneuver the pool.
Exactly.
Do I have that correct? Okay. So, yes, I mean, I love it. That's perfect for lots of tokenomics and bringing the price up. That's beautiful. Yes. I'm listening. Go ahead, Paul.
Frank is right. That means lock both ways. So once we use our FRT token to vote for the nodes, and if say they want to remove their liquidity pool, then they have to first withdraw their votes from the nodes. That's the first step to get their FRT token back to their wallet. Then they can remove their liquidity pool. So that's how the FRT token works. So it's locking both ways, making sure that our FIS USDT pools is getting bigger and bigger, because that is the gateway of FSTSwap to the mass, and the mass to get it into FSTSwap. Because as we can see, every token that's on FSTSwap is pairing their token with FIS, right? So basically, everybody who comes in have to use their USDT to buy FIS before they want to exchange into some other tokens. And also the same way if they want to cash out. So we have to make sure that the FIS USDT pool is healthy. So that's why the node design is based on the FIS USDT liquidity pool. That's the reason behind it. Okay. You can have there's no minimum of FRT needed before you can vote. Just depends on how much you have in the USDT pool.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, as soon as you provide the liquidity, you're going to get some form based on the number of liquidity pool tokens. I think it's like the decimal places before that shows how much FRT you're going to have, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So right now, everybody's just poised to vote their FRT, and there are nodes that are showing up in their back office. There's like 36 that are showing up right now, and yeah, we're gonna talk about what that means. That means that these communities are building, and they're attracting votes and attracting people to their node. A lot of them show percentage of returns. So if some node has 100%, that means they're giving away everything that comes into that node to the people that vote for them. However,
Exactly. Yeah.
that could mean that if there's a lot of votes, that could be quite saturated, right? Because the number of fund that comes into each node is finite. Like it's a certain number, right?
Amount. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the more people go into a particular node, the more saturated that payout becomes. So it's not necessarily advantageous to be in a node that pays out 100% when there's a lot of votes in there. You're probably not going to earn as much as another node maybe that has 80% or 85% payout and less people in there, right? Correct, Paul?
Yes, that's exactly right. So that's what we're waiting for. When the reward starts, we are going to see the APR on each node.
Right.
And then we will start to see a lot of votes that will start to move around.
Yeah.
Because even though they have voted now, but they can withdraw their votes anytime they want, right? And when they see the APR is too low at this node, then they will want to move some or most of their votes into other nodes. Like people can vote for 2 or 3 or even all 37 nodes at once if they want. It doesn't have to be just one node.
Right. Right. And I've seen some nodes with 20% payout to voters. So I mean, it's all strategies that these communities are going after, right? There's different strategies involved, and
Exactly.
Some communities they may want to have a certain fund allocated to hire voters in terms of the FRT amounts, and some communities may have a fund used to promote their calls or promote their events, whatever it may be. So there's lots of ways to build your node in a sense. So
Exactly.
what we're going to reveal today is that we have put together our community here, and we are going to reveal our node, and it's going to be the English speaking community node. And we are hoping to have it listed by tonight. And if you don't mind, I will share the screen, David. If you don't mind, I'm going to show them the node that's been created. Thank you. Yes, we are officially on board.
Congratulations.
So this is the English International Community Node. And it just started tonight. Just before the call, we wanted everybody to be present as we reveal this. And it's not showing up on the list yet. So I think it may take an hour or a few hours before it shows up. So our goal is to build a huge community with all the members that we've been working with, and then still build beyond that. And Paul, what is the advantage of building this? Can you just describe what the future could hold for something like this?
What's the advantage?
Yeah. Besides the monetary rewards, right? People put their money and put their votes in to have votes, to have a reward as a payback, right? Like a daily return. But just the community of a node, like what's the possibilities here? What can happen? What can we do as a community, right? Because you were mentioning some of the calls
when you have a community, you can do anything.
We can attract developers, especially if we're concentrating on the English international community. We can attract developers to come in, and they can go through our node in order to participate. Is that correct, Paul? Something like that?
Well, okay. How should I explain this? If you want to build a community.
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason why I think this node system is pretty important, because a lot of people for example, last year, we have been working without any compensation, right? We have been doing calls, and they've been building sites. And you and Peter, you have been doing those help calls to help people to get into Pangu last year.
Right.
But we are not getting paid. And that's the same thing in China. A lot of people are doing the work, but they're doing the work because they have invested big in it, right? So, and that's what caused the 225 as well, where the leaders who were the leaders, the top leaders, who also have a big bag in OSK and FIST, they built really hard for the past year and made a lot of money and decided to sell when the pool was very, very shallow,
Right.
and caused this price crash, right? Okay, so but there are still people that is willing to do calls and do the work and to help people, but we have to understand that people needs to live, needs to have income to provide food, right? To have to cover their daily expenses.
Right.
So this node system, the reason I like about it, because it's not like the usual network marketing where there's a comp plan there and people, we are working towards a comp plan, trying to build a community around this comp plan. The node system is using a different way where, they can allocate like 90% to the voters by keeping 10% and working their way up to the top 37 nodes by building a community around that node, to gain their votes. Then, the daily fund mind will be more if you're in the top 37. And the 10% can be, you can have a way to compensate the people that's helping to build the community. And this way we can attract leaders or people who have their knowledge to help the community. So right. I think, and that's what I'm expecting. A lot of because right now I'm seeing a lot of new leaders coming in from China because of this node system. Some people want to give back to the community, which is good, but there are also people that has a good heart, a big heart, but they need to survive, right? So they need money. They cannot just wait. Maybe they don't have too much to invest into the current pools or farms. So the mining cannot cover their daily expenses, but they have the ability. They have the knowledge. They are willing to work. So they have now the opportunity by creating a node and start to use his ability on creating a community around it. So I'm expecting that we can attract a lot of other communities that's outside of Pangu or FSTSwap, or that is in the current network marketing system that will be participating in this node ranking. Yeah, and also for the English group, there's another way, because while you are building the node, while you're building a community, you'll be understanding more about what FSTSwap is really about, right? And if you just go out to the developers and tell them and explain to them, what is FSTSwap, and show them our liquidity pool that is being constructed by masses, not by FSTSwap developers that provided the pool. It's provided by everybody. These numbers will attract the developers that, they will have a very big interest in bringing their project onto FSTSwap. So if you have those connections, like what I'm expecting, what I'm hoping to see is there are a lot of more Western developers coming into FSTSwap. But we need a gateway to explain to them, right?
Yeah.
So the first English node, like you guys might be the gateway, and because you are the gateway, then you will have a way to collaborate, to cooperate, or to be part of that project before listed on FSTSwap.
Got it.
Yeah. So there are a lot of things that you can do because it's DeFi, right? Crypto. You can do anything in crypto.
Awesome.
As long as we have a community, we can do anything.
Absolutely. Frank, come on in.
All right, that's a wonderful English node that leads to some clarity that we may have some sense of participation and control because we can understand something. But my first question is, who put up the 21,000 fists for this node?
So yeah, we're going to reveal all that. It's a group of people that have collaborated together and decided to create this node.
Okay, and who are these people that we saying needs to get paid? Because as I see it, everybody in this project needs to get paid, and everybody, if they can't survive on their daily, they need more. So who are these people outside of the community that needs to get paid? And what are you saying they're doing something that's extra for the community that we're not doing on the money that we provided? So how are we making it fair to make sure that we all
Frank,
get paid?
Hey, Frank, and Peter, I'll jump in here. So let me step back just a little bit and talk about just kind of piggyback, and I'll answer your I'll address your question, Frank. So let me piggyback a little bit on what Paul is saying and talking about in terms of the node structure. So, you know, one of the things that I really appreciate about the way the project has evolved is that it has become far more structured, and you know, it's a project that you can now go out into the broader marketplace of crypto, and you can go out to more sophisticated investors. And there are assets, resources, there's a story, there's an infrastructure that's been built that we can talk about and that we can leverage. And that infrastructure, if successful, if it accomplishes all the things that it's told us that it's designed and being built for to accomplish, then that alone, for everybody that's on this call that's participating in this project, can mean immense wealth. And so that's kind of the first layer of why we're all here. Then what we're talking about today is, and we haven't really gone down that road, and we're going to come back and I'm going to ask Paul to talk about the governance aspect of the node community and how that helps the broader project function, you know, and stay decentralized and allow the community members to have a say-so. So it's a really brilliant and simply elaborate system. And so participating in the node is part of where everybody has the opportunity to have your voice, because there are 210 different nodes that can accept votes. And so you have the opportunity to vote for a node that represents the things that you want heard. And the node that obviously provides some financial benefits. So there are all of these different choices that go into why you might want to support a node. So as it comes to the English community, why might you want to support the English community? And we hope that you will, because our objective is to bring the story of FSTSwap to the English world, to the Western world. And the way that we're going to do that is leveraging what we've been doing, but just doing it at scale. So what we've been doing so far is building resources to help communication within the community, to help the community understand the story, to simplify it, to support them, to show up and hold them by the hand. And that's all of us. That's all of us that have been on this journey for the last year or so together. And so the beauty of the node system is that it forces competition amongst the nodes. Only the top 37 get the revenue that's attached to the investment in being a node. So there's $21,000 that's gone into a wallet. You don't have the benefit of mining from that. So there's that investment that's made. And so you've got to compete to be in the top 37. And how you get into the top 37 is that you've got to have a community of people that have a reason to want to support you. And that comes, maybe some of it is from the economics, but I think a lot of it, especially for us in the English community, is in the relationships. Is we're building a community of relationships and people that understand the bigger picture, what we're here to accomplish. What we're here to accomplish is creating a platform and an ecosystem where everybody can plug in. If we believe in what FSTSwap is, the way that we get it close to us, that we can access this incredible engine, is that we get as close to the source as possible. We use our vote to let our voice be heard. We invest in a node that represents us. In the English community, the revenue that we anticipate earning from being one of the top 37 nodes, we've got all kinds of fun and creative things that we intend to do. And we'll go into all of these details in the coming days. We're gonna have a special call on Wednesday where we'll dive into some of these details. But we absolutely think that if you're moderating or administrating or creating things that are helping the English community, gain attention to this amazing opportunity in FSTSwap, then there's compensation there. And we have a really cool plan that we'll talk about in all the different ways that our community members can earn simply by helping to share the story and grow FSTSwap. FSTSwap grows. If we're successful at attracting investors and helping them to be successful in leveraging this opportunity, and because it's DeFi and a lot of folks still need help to get through it, if we're successful at doing that, then we're going to grow this project. And by doing so, we're going to benefit from our own investments. And so it really just it's up to us. Are we willing to feed this system? And so the node system is beautiful because it creates an incentive. And now there is a additional layer of incentive for why we should go out and share this story. And it's tangible. We're mining it every day.
That sounds fantastic. You explained it quite well. And I'm hoping it's going exactly how you explained it, because that is inclusive. We have a clear picture and a clear outlook, so we can fully participate and we can have a decision on which way the structure goes, therefore have control of the value of what we work so hard to build, because it is our liquidity pool. The crossover is the biggest. So we deserve that respect to know what's going on, to always be plugged in, as you say, to the source as close as possible. Because when it's all said and done, we're protecting ourselves when we protect our portfolio as well as others. So which brings me to my next point in the protection part. Now, does the node payment come up under only the structure of the node, or are the nodes pay up under the structure of the 15% locked in for the devs? So that was my other concern I need to discuss, that 15% as we move into protection protocol that have no repercussions. I need to get that clear. There's a 15% locked in for the devs. And in the white papers, it says they have no repercussions if they mess up, do their best. So that brought concern to me because it's written in the white papers. Well, why is it concern to you, Frankie? Well, remember on the cross-chain bridge when he said,
okay, wait, Frank, stop. Go check the blockchain. Right. Go follow where the 15% went. Everything is on the blockchain.
Okay.
Check on it.
Okay.
You will see it's locked.
Okay.
Every day. Right?
Okay. It's locked every day. Okay. So, and then you tell us when it's distributed to so we're not open and on exposed to anybody doing anything. Okay. So here's my question.
Yes.
Okay. And I appreciate that. Because see, that's something that was not clear. All right. So I'm glad that's clear. Everything must be clear. The next clear thing I need to do, because the reason I was concerned about that is in writing, there's no repercussions for the devs. And I was bringing it back to the bridge, said this bridge was open 16 days, but in writing, it said 7 days for one way. So writing is the law. I'm just following the law. I just want to be aligned with, make sure I understand where I'm going and make sure I understand the functionalities of my portfolio. So with that being said, I don't want the back door for any wolf to come in and take part of my 50% and run away and have no repercussions. So you're saying it's locked. Is that
the 15% is not from your 50%. It's the 15% from the mining, the whole supply of the fund.
Of the mine, but I'm mining, so it's a community. So isn't it a collective 15%? That's a collective 15%. It's not money that they bought over. It's money that we're all putting in together. Am I correct about that assumption, or do I have that wrong? By mining together, that's us mining, or is there a separate mining pool of that 15% that is totally separate from our portfolio?
Of course.
Okay. So we're protected like when OSK was there. It's totally separate, and we won't. If that 15% get rocked, it will not affect our portfolio.
No, it will not. Yes, it will not.
That was my concern there, because that's an open door in the back door.
That's no problem, man.
I worked too hard to let that back door go open and go to sleep, and know anybody can come in the back door and take my money. I appreciate the hugs, but it says they have no responsibility. Okay, thank you for clearing that up. All right, continue.
No problem. All right.
Good deal. So, Paul, I want to go to the area of governance, and can you talk a little bit about the role that a node plays in maintaining the governance of a DAO, and how, as a community member, that vote matters?
Okay, so if you guys go to the help center, you can see the writing on it. Okay, so basically all the 210 nodes, they can, what's that word? The governance, they can do proposals. for example, maybe in the future, someone want to propose, let's not, limit to 210 nodes. Let's do 300 nodes, right? So it's a proposal, okay? But first, it has to pass the nodes. Like all the nodes, I'm not sure the exact details. They haven't given us the details on it yet, but maybe the votes have to vote for it, whether this proposal will go to the next level, right? If it dies within the nodes, then the proposal will not pass. But if it passes, then it will go to the public, where people who have staked FIST, OSK, and FON will have the rights to vote. So everybody will be voting. The whole community will be voting for this proposal, whether we vote for it or we vote against it. And if it passes again, then the developers will execute what the community wants. So that's how the DAO governance will work in the future.
Got it.
Yeah.
How does a regular average investor, how do they submit, or how would they go through the process of submitting a proposal? They've got an idea, a vision, something that they think would improve the community. What would be the process for?
They will go through nodes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So another benefit of having access to a node that is the English community node is that there's a point of contact that makes that discussion accessible. And so to highlight, I want to go back and talk a little bit about then why a developer. So part of what we think is going to really expand this community is introducing developers to the FSTSwap. And so why develop attractive FSTSwap? Talk to us a little bit about why a developer would look at the FSTSwap opportunity and say, I want to bring my project over there.
Because most developers out there, they don't have a community. They don't have an education system, right? So most developers out there, they're trying to get their project out there, get the words out there to the current crypto players, crypto investors, hoping they are willing to look at their project, hoping they are willing to put some money into their project, hoping they are willing to play, or hoping they are willing to hold, not just doing short-term trading. So these community is the biggest problem for most of the projects out there. As we can see for the past few months, like a lot of DeFi projects went down because of the FUDs, because of the whole market. People don't understand. Like people are there just for the money. Only a small amount of people who really understand a certain project that is willing to hold longer, wait for the market to come back, or wait for more utilities on that project. So just by explaining to them how FSTSwap got started, how we created our community right now, the Chinese community right now, that will be really attractive. Because then they basically, when they work with FSTSwap, they don't have to worry about the community anymore. We have a group of educated DeFi community that is already here, who understand the importance of providing liquidity, where most of the DeFi projects, the developers are providing the liquidity, right? And that's a problem, because when more and more people comes in, the money that came in is bigger than the liquidity that was provided before. Meaning when they want to exit, the liquidity will get drained instantly, causing this whole crash in all projects. Okay. So I think the biggest attraction will come from our community.
Got it. All right, Peter, we wanted to do a demonstration. Do you want to jump into that, and then we're going to do a little bit of Q&A. I see some questions popping up in the chat.
Sure.
Are we ready for that? You ready to do a demo on how to vote?
Paul, could you take us through this just so that we are clear? I'm going to
Sure.
share my
All right, so
screen.
why
Yeah.
don't we do a little Q&A, and then we'll wrap that up at the end.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So there's a couple questions in the chat. If you have a question, let's take a couple minutes and do some questions. So there's a question about who's involved in the English node. I don't think there's any issue in saying that today. We're going to go through a lot more details on our call on Wednesday, and we'll talk more in depth about the plans. Tonight's call really wasn't our intent wasn't to focus it in the direction of the English international community node. We're going to do that on Wednesday. That'll be our intention. We hope that you'll join us on that call so we can go into some more granular details about that, our specific intention and all those details, and how you can participate and all the different things that are benefits for this community. So today we wanted to make sure that everybody understood node voting is here. How do you access your votes? Where do you get votes from? We'll talk about those specifics. Where are you actually getting these votes, and then how do you use them? And why should you use them? So we talked a little bit about the why. We'll get into some how-tos before the end of the call. In terms of who created the English community node, it would be myself, and those of you who know me, I represent my family of 7, my wife Lisa, and our 5 children, Renee and David. Renee's actually hosting the call tonight. David's on the call. So it's our contribution, Breezy, Carlos, Doris, obviously Peter, and we have 2 other participants who I haven't gotten permission to share their names, so I won't do so at this moment. But yeah, these are the folks that have been in service to this community for the last year plus. And so we look forward to doing more of that, and in bigger and grander ways. The beauty and the benefit of the relationship that we've developed with Paul, and the relationship he's developed with the project. And I know he's neutral in the whole node system, but he's family to us. And so we're excited to be able to link arms together, continue to build this project. And we expect to remain in the top 37. We're going to do amazing, exciting things, and we're looking forward to everyone that's been a part of this project, and all the people that you'll introduce to this project, really having fun in the journey and celebrating the experience. Obviously, we're in it for the increase financially, but hopefully you're enjoying the experience as well. And we'll talk a lot more.
Let me interject in there too, David. Yeah, thanks for revealing everybody that's part of this so far. But the idea is to involve everyone in our community. And that's the goal here. We want to make sure that everyone who participates and who actually help build the community is going to get remunerated. And we're going to collaborate together and figure out how that's going to happen and who the moderators are. If you're presenting, if you're in the chat groups, if you are actually participating in answering questions, those are moderators. Those are people that are actually involved in the community. We want to make sure people get compensated. And that's the reason we got together and said, you know what, let's build this node. Let's get the English community together so that people that are actually coming forth and doing presentations, doing the call, whatever it may be, support, let's get them paid. And this is a great way for us to do this. And we decided to, collaborate together to make sure we have a node that represents every single person on this call. I mean, everyone has the opportunity to, participate and get remunerated as well. So we want to give that opportunity and make sure that, we reward the people that deserve to be rewarded to build this community. And this is, we're going to grow. We're going to grow bigger and bigger. And we're going to have, things that are set in stone as to how people get paid or when they get paid or what they have to do. It's going to be available for everyone to use. So that's what I want to make sure that everybody understands. I think DeFi Max is on the call. DeFi Max, are you available to unmute for a second? I have a couple questions for you if you're available.
Hi Peter,
Hi.
can you hear me?
How are you? Good to hear from you.
Oh, Max. You're here. Hi,
Yeah.
Max.
I've been very busy with personal and these these other like communicating because I'm in another service group, and then they're doing a lot of these service calls as well. So I've been very busy.
Awesome. And then are you still quite involved with the process of the nodes and seeing how things are put together? Are you aware of how the voting process works? As how come there's only 36 nodes showing and how it gets?
Yeah. I understand what you're trying to do. So basically, some other people asked the dev as well, right? So in order to get your notes, I think I have in the English FSTSwap group, I have posted instructions as to what to do, right? And then part of that is I believe was it David was just sharing the screen, right? And then there is down at the number of votes plus a number of remaining, I think, and then up to the side there's a vote button. You have to vote for yourself in order for your nodes to appear to be listed. Okay, so you got to do that. So the nodes creator has to do that. Okay, and then that's one of the things that other people encountered that had problems. I think. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. So Paul was saying we have to put the FIST and USDT pool, and then whatever FRT is created from there, and then vote for yourself to get the node listed. That's the process.
Right.
Okay.
And
So you can't just transfer FRT from another wallet and then get that vote process that way set up.
Do not.
Don't do that. Like
Okay, do not do that.
I've seen so many people done that like during the first day when it came out, and then they regret it ever since. Some people were able to recover, and then some people were never able. They just lost the whole thing, and then that was pretty. It is what it is, right?
Okay,
like
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for the clarity on that. Thank you, Frank, as well. Okay, awesome. So we will get that going, and like David said, Wednesday's call where we're going to go right into the nitty gritty of the English international community, and of course we're going to want input from everybody on the call, suggestions, ways that we can incentivize people to show up to the calls, because we really want to build this community, and that's how we set this group up. And of course, we want everyone to give us an input, and then we will work together so that we find a great way to incentivize people and build a huge community with this node system. And I think we can do really incredible things here. We plan on giving back to charities. It's all about giving back to the community, and we want to make sure that we're all together in this. And that's one of the main messages we want to make sure that we get through, especially on Wednesday's call when we reveal how we're planning on making this happen. Are there any other questions? Paul's still on the call, so we can ask Paul specific questions about FSTSwap node system. Yes, come on in, Frank.
I'm just saying, go ahead and create a police department for me so I can arrest anyone that's moving in the non-direction of the community.
You got it. That's a good idea. We'll have you, Carlos, and Doris as the police, because you guys have been doing a great job in the chat groups.
Kick people out.
Handcuff the FRT. They'll put them in check.
There we go. We got Tio with his hand up. Tio?
Yeah. Thanks, Peter. Thanks for all you're doing, man. Thanks to David too. It's been a minute that I saw David. Look, I've been in this community for since last year, July. I started, the PG energy with everybody. I was there the first day that Paul came online. On Zoom and told us about the PGA. About Pangu and all that. So, we all have our different ways of promoting this community, right? I'm not very prominent on Telegram like that, but I'm all over on Twitter, liking
That's
and
great.
retweeting and doing stuff like that. And I have a Telegram group myself. I have 33 people of my people that are invested in FSTSwap. I'm taking care of the account. I'm the 34th, the 34th person. And I wish we have come up with this English speaking node community, whatever. Because when Annie came up last week, I thought we are voting for Anne. So I went in with all my 33 other group members. We all voted for Anne, right? But good thing we can all take out, our vote and come back and vote for the English, speaking community, whatever. So I thank you for that option that is there right now. But I just want to ask you this question though, Peter. Will the node be able to function? Because I know the reward is coming in tomorrow. Will it be functional overnight? That way, we don't lose out in the fund, reward that will be given to voters. Or does it matter? Anytime that we vote, we still be able to catch up, retroactively with all the reward that we're supposed to have gotten.
From the votes, right? You're talking about from the votes starting June 1st. Yeah, so that's why I asked DeFi Max that
The
question.
rewards are starting in 2 hours and 11 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, so I have to get that portion set up so that we're listed. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll work on that. I'll get that going. Yeah. And then we will.
Yeah, Peter. Check the message I pinned in the English group. There is a link that's on BSC scan that shows a countdown timer, so you can refer to that timer.
Yeah, I see that now.
Peter,
So
question: would it be? I mean, and I'm not sure if I'm out of line here, DeFi Max, but would it be easier to have DeFi Max walk us through the finishing of this node so that we could have a ceremonial countdown to the English node?
DeFi Max?
Yeah.
Would you like to do that?
Sure. I think it's just one button to click away from it. You guys are so close.
It's just a matter of putting the FIST and USDT pair within that node wallet, and then getting that FRT and voting for the node from the node creator. Is that correct? And then it will get listed. Yeah, pretty much. You just have to like click that one button. So if was it David? Like if he can go back to the screen that he shared on the node creation page, and then he just have to click that, and then we're golden. Okay. So David, if you want to take over the call, I will try to get that set up.
Was it you, Peter? Sorry.
Yeah, I'll get that.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's nothing to be sorry about. I want to make sure we're listed somehow as quickly as possible. Yep.
You want to share your screen, Peter?
Yeah, we can do that. And then
rather than
yeah, then everybody can see.
So about Toast question,
I don't think we need to see that. We can
have we
just
answered
end the
Toast
call.
question?
You can end the call. You guys can go and do it by yourselves. I mean, we don't have to be all here watching how you do it, though. I don't think it's necessary. That's just my point of view.
It's just one step.
What if other people, Edward? What if other people were thinking about the process? Just the curiosity of the process. It's just another educational process for free. I don't know. I want to see.
Why don't we do this, guys? So I think there's a couple more questions that we should address for the community that's here, and then let's close up let's formally close the call, and then we'll invite anybody who wants to stay and hang out and go through the process. You're welcome to stay. There was a question that Paul, I wanted you to address from the V. There was a couple questions from V. I think one goes back to there was a question about multiple language app. Can you address that?
Multiple language app. First, what app?
Well, it's a multiple language in the route map that says it's a function that's supposed to be into the FSTSwap. So what is that is what she's asking. What is the multiple language and when will we access it? Pull the white papers, look in the route map right now. Pull the white paper side menu, hit route map, and it'll say multiple language down there. It's supposed to be the next 2 or 3 steps. When will that initiate?
No. If you go to the top, you will see that it says it will not follow the steps. It will follow whatever.
Following the steps. We're asking when.
We don't know. They are not following the steps, so we don't know.
Okay, but it is in the plans because the multi-language
Of course.
brings clarity
If
for us to
it's
understand.
if it's in the help center, everything is in the plans.
Yeah, and I noticed they're not following the steps because cross-chain is at the bottom, but we did that already. So I noticed that we're not following the steps. I'm using it like a Bible, so I'm expecting everything to follow like the Bible. That's all. That's the reason we got questions. But we'll keep our eye out and make sure that we're all doing the right thing. Appreciate you.
No problem.
Yeah, Frank. Just to address this thing, right? Like, as you can see, like I'm constantly looking at both sides of the help center to refer informations. I refer to that page as well, and then I tell people to go to that page always, right? And then follow our developers Twitter. And then, as you know, right, like the English section, it's a little bit like the translation is not that accurate. So like we're still working on it. So I think we should get the English part, make sure the flow is everything is good. Then we move on to I believe we have a Japanese community and a Korean community. I think those comes later, but like right now we have two languages, which is like the two primary communities out there, right? So I think that should be our main objective. I think part of we can probably help with that because most of us are native speakers, and then Paul can definitely pitch in, right? Yeah, that's just my thoughts on that.
And we can spell OSK correctly once we get everything straight, right, Max?
Yeah. There's a section I looked on there where you rank according to APR, but it's spelled ARP, like on the nodes. I mentioned it to the devs, but I think they're just too busy at the moment. I have like a list of the things that they should fix, right? In terms of spelling and other things, right? But it's just that they're just too busy. Like I mentioned it already. Like Paul even has my list.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
ARP, still ARP, right?
Yeah, it's still ARP. So I've been looking over the documents over and over, trying to find like improvements and stuff, right? So like I'm just telling you guys, hey, there, like I'm always looking over that, and there is someone out there, right? It's just that I can't, like, even though I can see these mistakes or but I can't change it myself. I can only bring it up, right? And then they have to make the changes. That's all.
All right, guys, it's getting close to the top of the hour. Any other questions, especially for Paul while we've got him here? Anything else that you want Paul to tackle? All right, while we shake out any last questions, I just want to make one last invite. Please join us Wednesday, same time, 10 p.m. Eastern. Same address, 10x Crypto Zooms. There'll actually be a new address that we'll announce on that call as well that we'll be meeting at for our Zoom calls going forward. But we'll talk a lot. We'll answer. I know there's a lot of questions in the chat tonight. We're not ignoring those questions. We just want to give it the proper time and space. Obviously, there's a window of time in order for us to get the node set up and so forth, and we're coming up against that window. And so we wanted to move expeditiously to get into position so that those who are interested in participating didn't miss out on the opportunity to do so. So Wednesday we'll have had some time to work out all the details. And we look forward to spending some time answering questions. Please come with your questions, come with ideas. We look forward to continuing this community discussion about how we can continue to grow this community. So any last questions for Paul?
I'll ask you the last question, David. So I have 33 people that already voted in my community. Will you suggest that we take out all our vote and wait till when we set up our English speaking node and then we go in and vote?
Thank you for asking that. And it's a difficult question to answer. And so I'm going to answer it this way. We're going to respect the fact that, we've got a duty to provide people, the participants in the community and in this project, kind of unfiltered, unbiased answers to questions like that. And so we'll do our best to do that. And at the same time, we think that it's in our mutual interest in this English-speaking community to support the node that we established to grow that community. So we'll talk about both things. And on Wednesday's call, we'll spend some time. I don't want to get into quite that detail because I think we need to spend a little bit more time understanding the English community node. So what I'll say is you always have the option to withdraw your votes. We're not going to recommend that you do so. We're going to present our case and we're going to ask for your support. But you as an investor, we're going to help you to understand all the different options that are available to you. And we hope to make an appealing case. You don't have to give all your votes in one direction. We hope that you will give them all to us. We will continue to appeal and ask for them. But we do want you also to be aware and educated of all the different choices that you have, and so that you can make the choices best for you. So come Wednesday, thank you for the question, Tio, because it's really important. And so come Wednesday, we hope to give you some more clarity so you can make a decision you feel amazing about.
All right. Thanks, bro.
We got
Yes,
Frank
sir.
and then Carlos.
Frank and then Carlos.
I almost forgot last question. My other concern was the devs having the power to remove a community. So if they have the power, then why do we have a node? And is that power an illusion or is it real? We can go into this more on Wednesday because I know you spent a lot of time today, but that will be my question to address on Wednesday. Yeah, we have a node, but then I saw that devs have the power to remove community. So what is this power? And
what do you mean by power to remove community?
Well, we announced that the OSK DAO was removed. So aren't they a community of the FSTSwap?
It's not removing a community. It's removing their token. And there's a reason for it. Yeah.
Oh,
and
whitelisting.
But they can still trade because everything is on blockchain. If everything is on smart contract, it's only they are not listed on the swap when you pull it down. But everything is still the same. Yes, the whitelist.
All right.
Yeah.
You know, I like clarity. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate you.
No problem. No problem. Devs have no power to remove a community, even for the nodes, because everything is on smart contract. That's the beauty of smart contract. When it's set, then it's set. Yep. Okay.
I want to let Ecology V go before me. So go ahead,
Evie.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. What happens to the tokens that were in the community that we were mining, and then all of a sudden they're gone, like NUWSA and a few other tokens we were mining, and then once, I don't know what happened, but then they're just gone. What happens with that? What happens with the mining or the money that, or the tokens that were created from that mining? And then when that token leaves our ecosystem, what happens with all of that that's been created? Where does that go?
What do you mean by create? People just claim it.
It'll be under the finish. So there's one tab that's live and there's one tab that's finished. So the ones that have been removed from either whitelist or they got delisted somehow, they're in the finish tab. You just have to click on that in order to claim your claim your rewards and then unstake. Does that answer your question? We can show.
Yes,
yeah.
I believe it does. Thank you both. Thank you.
No problem. Top right. Everything is safe. Okay, you have to understand that everything is safe. It's only probably we don't know how to remove it or how to claim it, but nothing is lost. It's blockchain. It's smart contract, and everything that the developers present to us has been audited. It's very important. Auditing is very important because that's the security for us. Okay. Carlos.
Right. Yes. So I know I have a new caller here. I don't have to name his name, but I want him to understand and others to this is not the time to totally share everything, but I am going to share my experience so far with the Fawn token. And again, this is not a recommendation. This is not financial advice. This is just what fits my needs and my, my level of investment. So every time I hit double digits on my Fawn, I cash them out, right? And I buy more fist than I compound by going back in, right? So I want to get as much voting as possible. So I'm putting most of my free fund back into USDT Fist because I want to have as much voting power as possible. And I see the multiplier, I think it's at 27. So, I feel like that's the most powerful pool within our ecosystem. So I want to support that the most. So with my free fund, I've been cashing that in and making USDT Fist. Just wanted to share that, and I wanted to share how easy it is for any new callers that are here or anyone that hasn't even touched their fund, and the fees are so small. You barely see them, 4 cents, 8 cents. It's just incredible. So I've been really happy with the project so far. Since May 1st, we're coming on a month, and I've made a few $1,000s, and I'm extremely happy with that. So, nothing is the same because everybody has a different hash power, but I've been compounding my stuff with Fist, and I just wanted to tell that to everyone else. So, that's about it. I'm extremely happy with this. So thank you, Paul. Thank you to everybody who's helped out, who's answered my questions, and I appreciate being in this project and being here early. I mean, we have 7 years of mining, so we're working out all the kinks now, which is amazing. All these questions. I mean, Paul, you just said something, right? We're Certec. Certec is the auditing that we had, right?
Yep.
So that's like top 3, right?
Top.
Might be
Very
the top
expensive.
1. Yeah.
Expensive. Every time we send a smart contract for them to audit, it's costs a lot of money.
Yeah, that's amazing. So that's it. Thank you so much, guys. I'm gonna leave some of the stuff that I have to say for Wednesday. So thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Great questions tonight. And, the real message we want to get across here is this: we are a community that we're always going to be together to make this work. So this is a community effort, and we're going to work together, and we're going to take suggestions from everybody. We're going to, everybody that's really participating is going to get rewarded. And it's all about, just building this so that we are strong and we give back to the community. There's so much we can do with this. And we got Paul that's talking directly with the developers. So we have direct contact through Paul and through DeFi Max. He's actually, taken his time to, create things for us. He created the Crypto 101, which shows how to get your wallet set up and how to get things going. And we're also going to create a website for everybody to ease their way into this project. So we have videos that we're going to put together. So we want to make sure that everyone is taken care of. And that's the main goal here.
And Peter,
yeah,
I wanted to say this. I wanted to say, we've addressed 2 things, and we've said everyone who's participating, everyone who's participating, everyone who's participating. And I want to let you know that if you're on this call, you're participating. You don't have to say a word. If you're on this call, there's going to be opportunity for people who are silently on this call. Like, we've thought about all that already. You don't have to answer questions in the Telegram. You don't have to tweet. We'd like you to tweet. We'd like you to help your own investment. But if you just come onto the call and don't say a word, and your name is inside the chat room, there's an opportunity for you to get rewarded too. So you don't have to be the most vocal person. We didn't all start off being the most vocal people. I was quiet as a church mouse until people started laughing at my jokes. But anyway, so then I started talking more and gaining more confidence. But I'll be honest with you guys. There's a place. This is community means there's a place for everyone. That's what community means. And guarantee that in the plan that the English group has, there's a place for everyone. So whether you speak, whether you don't, obviously, if you're tweeting more, if you're helping more, you got Fire Marshal Sheriff Frank, he's there locked and loaded. He's participating. to the fullest. He's not playing around. So
It's funny,
obviously,
and you're definitely bigger than a mouse.
so obviously, you know, everyone's gonna get a chance to get free phone. We have 7 years of free phone, people. We would just want to share with everybody, and obviously, you know, and no knock to I don't have to name any other nodes. No knock to any other nodes. If I want to communicate with the node that I could have the easiest access to, have the easiest communication with. That's what I want. I want to be able to say, hey, I have a question. Where are you? And I don't want the node to disappear on me, right? So to me, that's who I'm voting for. I'm voting for what's best for my investment. Point blank, period. It's nothing personal. This is business. And everyone should approach the same way. There's nothing personal. This is business. If this makes business sense for you, go ahead. With your heart's content, use your FRTs the way you see fit. But we just want you to hear all the options so that you won't go, you know, T.O. said it best. T.O. was like, hey, I only know Annie. I don't know anybody else in the other side. Now that there's another option, amazing. So that's it. Hear it out, guys. All right.
Awesome, Carlos. Thank you for that great message. And that sums it up. I mean, everybody is somebody in our community, and we will make sure that. And we've been trying to do that from the beginning, and you've noticed that from the leadership groups. We want to make sure that we all get together and bring this incredible opportunity to everyone. Because like Carlos was mentioning, he's cashing out FON every single day. Why don't we let everyone experience that? This actually for real now. It's working, and it's paying out handsomely, and it's exciting. And now we have an opportunity to build a huge community around that, and we can take precedence as being the English community. And of course, we haven't even tapped into the North American population yet. We're like 1%, not even 1% of what could be in this amazing project. Carlos, we're gonna, right after this call, if you want to stick around, we're gonna show my screen and we're gonna go into the voting process. And for those, thank you for joining us tonight. We're gonna have another call Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern as well. And then we will have more details on how, what our node's going to be doing and what we're looking forward to in the next weeks and months. So if anybody wants to stick around, you can stick around. And then if not, David, you want to close this off today?
Real quick.
Yeah, I wanted to address real quick. I think there was a question from Marlene, and it's a great question. Will we go back to calls where we can bring new people? And thank you for the question, Marlene. Absolutely. So this project has moved lightning fast over the last few months. So much has happened, so many ups and downs, and so this is a milestone moment. And so in this moment, as we move into the next phase of this project, as it continues to mature, so will our calls. We'll come back and create something that introduces the entire breadth of the project to a new member. So we'll start off our calls with that structure. So anybody that comes can understand exactly, probably not gonna understand everything, but we'll give them a basic lay of the land, a really professionally well done explanation of the project and how they can participate. We'll invite them to do so. Talk to them about all the resources that are available to help them get started and throughout the project. So look forward to that coming. Definitely, please, I can't emphasize enough, join us on Wednesday. We'll talk about all of those things. We'll love to hear your input, your feedback, things that will add value to the calls and to the people that you want to invite to the calls. So please join us on Wednesday. Thank you so much for being here. Peter, on you. Guys, we're gonna shift gears now. We'll stop the recording and so we can separate this. We'll record the next part, but let's